Hi, I'm Rob Bain, also known as Swifty Zwifter, and I'm going to tell you about my Zwift journey over 500 races, which I completed yesterday. So, I'd like to start by telling you about the big bad old days. So, a few years ago, I had to close down a business which I've been running for a few years, and it became quite a dark time. And I ended up getting a tax bill, which was rather larger than I'd come to believe I was due, and it put me into quite a bit of bother, really. And it was quite a bad time. And I think that was about 2018, 2019, and I didn't cope with it particularly well, really. I drank way too much. I ended up looking like this. I've been putting on weight for a few years, to be fair. And at one stage, I distinctly remember I tipped the scales at over 100 kilograms. I think that was sometime in 2020. And so, by the BMI definition, I was clinically obese and not doing too well, really. But then I did receive a tax rebate, so some of that tax bill was wrong. About half of it was wrong, so that was rather nice. So one of the things that I decided to treat myself to, that I should have heard about for a few years, but never thought I had the time nor inclination to do, was to get fit. So this was around the time of the pandemic, and when I realised, when people were starting to talk about you might be refused treatment if you're overweight, it was getting that bad, or obese, I should say, then it was a bit of a kick up the backside, and I decided to get a smart trainer. And when I did, one of the first things I did was to hook up my old bike, which is this beauty here, and get it connected to Zwift. I don't know what my bike's called. It was bought second hand for, I think it was about £260, and that was about 15 years ago. I'm not a man who likes to spend a lot of money where I can help it. The Elite Diretto is the most expensive treat I've bought myself. It was about, at the height of the pandemic, it was about 750, maybe £800. Whereas the bike has done me good for 15 years and is still going strong. It's an aluminium thing. It's a beautiful thing, really. It's lovely colours, solid, and if you pedal it fast, it goes fast, as far as I can see. I have changed the grips since this picture was taken. They are rather dirty, aren't they? But yeah, so I got into Zwift, and I think that was in about the mid to start of January, after I got my tax rebate, and I started on there, and I think it was the Tour de Zwift was starting around that time, so I joined that, trying to join some group rides, but didn't really figure it out straight away. And joined the Swedish Zwift Races, awesome group, should check them out. Did some long rides on there, and absolutely loved Zwift. Still do to this day, as you might know, with my Swifty Zwifter name. And yeah, so my weight had come down to about 94 kilograms by the time I started Zwifting, because I was doing some dumb trainer stuff. And yeah, so I did lots of these, did the Tour de Zwift, and then it was before these, before I'd registered on Zwift Power, I saw that someone or some people were obviously racing, so they'd lapped me on the Champs Elysees, and I was like, whoa, what are they doing? I want to do some of that. And so yeah, I looked up racing, and I got right into racing. Well, I did my first race, the Kiwi, what's it called, Kiwi Crew Riot Race, a new bunch of Kiwis do an early morning race. Well, early morning for me, late night for them, assumedly. And yeah, the record shows that I won that race, but I think there was only 3 in Zwift Power, and so I won, even though I was dropped by some Ds who were either sandbaggers or had not registered on Zwift Power. So then I did lots more of the Tour de Zwift stuff, loved that, and yeah, just got right into racing really. And then I was gripped by the obsession of the Alpe d'Huez Zwift in less than an hour, and this is the sum that was in my mind. So there was a famous, well, sort of famous in Zwift terms, famous calculation that if you can get to 3.2 watts per kilogram for an hour, then you should be able to do the Alpe d'Huez Zwift in less than an hour. And as my weight was coming down, I think it was about 87, 88 at this time, when I started the realisation, I realised that if I could bring my power up to 256 and my weight down to 80 kilograms, then I should be able to do the Alpe d'Huez Zwift in less than an hour. And that became an obsession of mine. I eventually got to the 80 kilograms and thought I'd reached the power, well, I had reached the power requirement on, I think it was June the 21st, it was Father's Day anyway. And my kids came out to watch me. Let's see if this clip works. So this is my attempt here on Father's Day, and so essentially my kids came out to watch and were cheering me along, and then my chain snapped.
Come on! Go on! Yay!
Oh no! No! Oh, and I used slightly inappropriate language, not full swearing, but not great either. But I was laughing about it a few seconds later and teaching them that it's all the process that matters, not the result. And yeah, so I went on to do it a few days later, when I was not quite so fresh, but I still managed to get under the hour, and I was suitably delighted. And then after that, just got into race really. Did all sorts of races. I did have a knee operation in the November, which is just after I reached the highest FTP that I ever would hit. I got to 309. Well, my 20-minute power was 309. So with the 95% thing, I don't know, what, 285 or something. But yeah, and only yesterday did I get anywhere near that again, when I got to 304 for my 20 minutes. So that I've never really got back to the 20-minute power, but I've built up my sprint and my 1-minute power by doing lots and lots of races since I came back from the knee operation, which wasn't related, by the way. It was a pre-existing thing from years before, really. So yeah, some of the highlights of my racing is I won an individual series, the Zwift Insider Rebel Race series, which had lots of punchy races. That was great. And I got into team racing, so I was racing with the Apache Brave racers for a while, and we did lots of great stuff. There was ZRL and this one race series we won. It's our first sort of win as a B team. I think this was series 1 of Dirt Racing series, and the final race we had to beat the Danish Zwift riders, who were a good climbing team, and we had to beat them by about 50 points or something like that, which seems esoteric now, but we were up to about 1,000 points, so it was fairly close. But yeah, and at the start of that race, our best sprinter Tim got a technical problem and couldn't take part, so we were down to 7 riders, I think, and my job was to mark this Ollie Nielsen guy, who's a great climber, and I did well in the sprint, I think, and Michael did well in the sprint, but Michael Doris is in our team. When it came to Leith Hill climb, I just couldn't keep couldn't keep the wheel of Ollie, and he took the FTS and FAL on that climb, so it was looking like they were gonna win overall. but myself, Michael, and Julian caught him on the descent, and then overtook him on this little bump. Oh no, yeah, and then on the climb I was ahead on my own, and then eventually got joined by Julian, which was great, and then all three of us managed to get off the front, Julian and I together, and we crossed the line, Julian and I, way out in the front, both soft pedaling, trying to let the other one win. It's a magnificent thing, team racing. Still probably my best moment on Zwift. I think that's Julian's, or it was Julian's only ever win on Zwift. So yeah, that was particularly rewarding. And here we've got, since the start of the Z Racing series, we've got, I've been trying to win one of the stages in each of the stages during a month. So I tried for about, I can't remember when it started, maybe August, something like that. So I tried August, September, October, November, and then December I'd won the first three, which were all sort of suited to my power, and then the last one was the Three Little Sisters route. And on New Year's Eve I tried in the very last race of the year to, maybe it wasn't quite, but I tried to win this race, and this guy Jasmine Marinelli turns up late sign up I think, and he turned up in my race, and I had this great battle with him up the volcano, and lost. He's a absolutely superb rider, one of the best in B category, and he just beat me he beat me by, I think it only says by 1 second, but it was quite convincing in the end. But it was a great battle up the volcano, and one that I'll never forget. I did actually go on to win this race. I can't actually remember anything about the race at all when I won it, but I remember this one here. It was a classic. So just lots of little things like that. So what next for me? So I've started the Zwifter channel, and with the aim of sharing some of the knowledge that I've gained about how to win Zwift races, because at the moment I am winning quite a lot, almost an embarrassing lot. I'm trying to race in the A's when I can, but there's very often just not very many people, or if there are, they're A pluses, and there's just no point in climbing hills with them. My max 20 minutes about 3.7, whereas theirs can be like 5. So if there's a flat race, I try to do it in the A's. But yeah, I want to share the knowledge that I've got through the Zwift channel, and I want to try and help individuals. So if you want help winning a race, I can either join you or give some tips. If there's anything that I can help with, then let me know. But that's my journey over Zwift, over 2 and a bit years, 500 races, and hope you enjoy Zwift as much as I.